Spring is here, and if you're anything like me, you got spring fever like crazy and you just want to hit the road in the RV. How's it going? Welcome to another All About RVs. I'm Jared Gillis. Today we're going to be talking about de-winterizing your RV. Maybe it's been winterized all year and you haven't wanted to hassle with it, or it's been in storage. So let's look at the things we need to do to prepare our RV for camping. I should have looked at my list to see how many it is. Let's see, it's 5 things we need to do to our RV to prepare for camping. We'll break these into the categories of charging your batteries, refreshing the water system, checking for leaks, checking your tires, and preparing the propane. How bad can it be? 5 things. It's a piece of cake. Now, as far as getting your batteries ready, if you want to do any battery maintenance now, this is the time to do that. So if you have flooded cell batteries, this would be a great time to top those off. And if you want to look for any corrosion around the terminals, you want to get that cleaned up and get a nice and tidy battery compartment area. But now those batteries have been stored for a while, so I'm sure they've lost a little bit of juice. So we just want to plug in our RV and get that converter working to charge our batteries up. And if you have the original converter in your RV, it's probably going to take a good amount of time to get those batteries charged up because those converters aren't that efficient. Unless you swapped yours out for like a smart converter, like a 3 or a 4 stage converter, those will charge you pretty quick. Well, that was pretty simple. Now we're gonna go sanitize our water lines in the rig. Now for the water system, we're going to sanitize it. We want to get out any of the antifreeze that we'd put into it to winterize it, and it's actually a pretty simple process. So you shouldn't have anything in your tank if you winterized it, but you want to make sure that that is drained. And then there's a couple of different ways to sanitize it. Most people use bleach until it's full. If you don't have an area like this where you can just pour it into the side, many of them will have an area where you can like make a gallon of this solution, and then you just put the hose in there and you can suck the solution right into your freshwater tank. But once we have our tanks full, turn our pump on and go inside, and we want to turn on each faucet solution sitting in the pipes. It'd be best if you could let it sit in there for about 24 hours and really let it do its job. You can open up a faucet or two and drain our system of that solution. If you use bleach, you're gonna wanna use something to neutralize that bleach, and then you're gonna wanna flush that out. So however you decided to do it, you just wanna make sure you flush out whatever you put in the tank. Before I get these guys fired up on propane, I like to pull these off. Like this door, you just quarter turn. This is the back side of the fridge. I want to come in here and I'm going to vacuum out any bugs or dust and stuff like that, get it cleaned up the best I can. And then I'll lightly use some compressed air to get any of the dust and bugs and stuff like that out that I couldn't with the vacuum. You don't want to drive any of that deeper in there. You just want to clean some of that out. So if you do use compressed air, please be careful with it. You don't want to cause more problems than trying to clean it out. And I just do the same thing with the water heater down here. Ours is tankless, so it might look a little different. We're gonna get this propane turned on so we can test the appliances. Now, before we fire up our propane appliances, we want to ensure that we have water in our water heater, because a lot of times when you winterize those, you'll put a bypass. You'll bypass the water, the fluid from being in there. So ours doesn't have a bypass, but you'll want to locate it. It's right behind the water heater, and it's either a single lever that you do and you'll hear it start to fill up, or you'll have 3 individual valves so that you can begin filling the water heater, because you don't want to turn that thing on dry. You could fry your water heater. Then go to one of your faucets, turn the hot water on, and that's going to pull the air that was inside your water heater, and it's going to get rid of it out of the system. The first appliance that I usually like to light is the range here. I like to ignite the cooktop. It's easy. For us, it's the end of the line, so propane has to pass by the refrigerator and the water heater. So if I get this thing fired up, I know that there's not going to be any air in the line to this point once this is ignited. Now it's a simple switch on the water heater, try out the furnace, and select propane on the fridge. Now that we have all those ignited, we can shut them down and move on to the rest of our list. Now, washing the rig might seem just a little bit vain. It actually serves a pretty good purpose. You want to start with the roof, and when you're up there, washing it is really one of the best ways you can kind of inspect it. I mean, if you have something glaring like a huge leak, you want to get that fixed before you go and start throwing water on it. But when you scrub it and you're washing it and you're rinsing it off, it really gives you a great chance to inspect it and see if there's any issues or problems that you need to tackle and take care of before you get out there and have a leak on a rainy day when you're RVing. Now, I've typically just used normal soaps and detergents and stuff like that. Even I was told to use laundry soap, and it worked okay. But this year I used this stuff. It's rubber roof cleaner, and it has like a UV blocker protectant kind of thing in there, which we'll see if that helps. But it really helped get our roof a lot cleaner. So I'll put a link into the description to this stuff for our rubber roof. Obviously, it's rubber roof cleaner. What else would you use it on? But this stuff just helped us get it clean and get that dirt and that grime off of the roof. And I even compared it. Like, I scrubbed an area with this stuff, and then I scrubbed an area with like the other soaps that I had used, detergents that I had used before, and I was really impressed with this. The one thing that I would say is this leaves terrible streaks on the side of your RV. So unless you want to be scrubbing those for hours trying to get those off, as soon as you rinse this detergent off the roof, just chase it down the side of the RV and just get it washed all the way down so that there's no buildup stuck on the side of your RV. Once you're done with the roof, just move on to the rest of the rig and wash it down. Let it dry, and in that meantime, you can take a look for any of the seals that might be bad on the side of the rig, the roof, all that. You want to look it over and get those sealed up so that you don't have any leaks, water damage, delamination. You want to get that fixed before it's ever an issue and causing damage. I have some areas and some seals that I need to seal up on my rig once this thing dries up. Now with the tires, it's pretty simple here. Hopefully you had them covered while they were in storage. I'll put a link in the description to these, but nothing really fancy. You just want to check over the tire, make sure there's no cracks in the sidewalls, make sure that you have enough tread on them so that they're safe. And really the main thing you want to do here is you want to inflate it to the maximum PSI, to the proper PSI that your tire is supposed to take. This isn't an exhaustive list of all the maintenance that needs to happen here at your wheels, but this will get you going for your camping season. Well, those are the 5 things you need to do to get your rig up and going for the camping season. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and get out there and go RVing, get out camping. That's the whole point of this. So if we don't see you on the road, hopefully we will catch you in the next video. The horse came to say hi.